everybody, it's Hannah. I'm back again. Now we're going to actually do the upholstering, which is incredibly easy. Even the corners, which I know is what everybody has the biggest questions about. You'll notice that I placed quite a few staples, not quite a few, but like 3 or 4 on each side, just to hold the foam in place, make it a little bit easier to do the upholstery. I'm trimming off some of the excess foam where I know I'm not going to need it because it's going to roll over that wood. That's going to be contained and we're not going to feel it. And then we're also going to have a tiny bit of a lip, if you can see, when I do compress it and pull that fabric over. But we don't want too much because otherwise it's just going to take up too much fabric and make it harder to place on our stool or chair base. So I've got my handy arrow fastener staple gun, as I've been mentioning, and in the comments I will have the model number. I also know that I'm almost out of staples, so I'm using these, and I have them right off to the side so I can refill very, very quickly. These are 5/16 and inch staples, and this pack comes with 1,250, so you can do any projects with them. But the reason I'm using a 5/16 is it's obviously just under half. It's actually just over a 1/4 inch, but it really can go through that fabric no problem whatsoever. But because that's another reason we don't want so much foam, because we don't want to have to go through that foam. We want to use this so that it's not going to go through the wood and get little sticks in your butt. That's awful. But it's also going to give us a good hold for that fabric. So I'm going to assume my previous position, which is, of course, on top of the wood. So we compress that foam just a tiny bit. And we're going to pull in the center. We're going to take that fabric from the center of that stool seat. Grab as close to center as you can. Make sure your staple gun is on. Oops, I need my eye protection. Eye protection. And we're going to go, I usually go in an angle. That's it. Boom. Now, let's go to the side. Let's actually go to the back. Let's do it again. We're going to pull and make sure we don't have any wrinkles. I don't think we do, but just to make sure. Grab that staple gun again. Okay. Now, there's quite a bit of fabric. Might or might not be how yours ends up, just because of your piece of fabric might be already cut. There we go. We can move that over to the side. And then I'm going to compress here, which will make it hard for you to see. So I will turn and bring it actually a little bit closer. Now you'll notice here, I'm actually running out of fabric. I don't have very much. That's okay. Part of what happens when you compress is you're able to make it stretch further because you don't need as much. So I'm going to compress here, a little bit of an angle, and I'm out. I knew that was going to happen, but watch how quick and easy it is to replace. Slide open my staple packet. I'm going to grab a row of staples. That one came out easily. Drop it in. I'm already reloaded. It's that easy. So now I'm going to pull it. There we go. And I didn't even touch that corner. So that is really ideal. Now, because this is my short side, I'm going to focus on this one first. We're going to go a little bit further distance apart, and then we'll work in. But the question everybody had when I first posted that I had done this was how I did the corners. And let me fix this camera angle so you can see the extra foam I have laying around. How I did the corners. And the corners are actually really, really easy. Let me get closer and put it all the way down so you can see. It is amazingly simple. You're really just going to come into your corner. We're going to pull these sides and get pretty close to the corner. So now I've got a pretty established corner with both sides of my fabric. What I am going to do now is put my finger into that corner where I want that corner spot to be and pull that fabric tightly. Now see how it's going to pooch out? We're going to fix that. But I'm going to put my finger there and hold it. Slide the fabric down on one side of the corner. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same on this side. This side we might want to do a little bit of a hospital corner, okay? That's fine. Now, this is actually all you need to do to establish that corner looking smooth and tight. But if you want it to be very, very precise, you can even place a staple right here and right here. And that's going to hold that fabric in exactly the way you want it. But you don't need to. Once you put it in there, and the way our bar stools are, they have wood that kind of sits right there, you're not going to see that. What I would suggest though is you're going to want to trim this so you're not going to have roly-poly edges. But you might want to secure it one more time there, and then definitely one more time here, just so we're keeping those corners tight and we're giving them as much stability with those staples as possible. Now you probably noticed just now how close my fingers were to the actual staple, the top of the staple, like right here. That's fine. With this particular staple done, it doesn't matter. You're not going to staple your fingers unless you have it directly underneath. You can also notice the lights on either side, so I know that I'm putting it precisely where I want it. There's a little piece sticking up there. I'm going to make sure that I'm on the wood, and I tack that right down. And that is how you do a corner on a bar stool. I'll trim this fabric later when I come back, but in the meantime, I'm going to do a quick time lapse and show you how I get the rest of it.